Hello everyone and welcome to Kempton Park Racecourse in Surrey, England, our third English track profile. Kempton opened in 1878 and was an important bucket list stop for me as an American racing fan, as it is the home to the Road to the Kentucky Derby Condition Stakes, the only Kentucky Derby prep race held in England during their 3-year-old season. Unfortunately, I was not there for the Derby prep itself, but I still enjoyed my time here. So let's take a look around Kempton Park.
And thereafter racing a slow hesitant start by Romance and Rome, which still had an experience beforehand, and no great surprise to see her slowly away. Up front though, Queen of Mercia is pushed up to try and secure the lead in Quebec. That having really wanted to set the pace, but unable to assert really. Romantic Opera comes through under a tight rein to match up the pace early. So these two.
There's a sizable parking lot out front and two separate entrances, a north and south entrance. I went in the north entrance, which immediately drops you at the horse pathway between the pre-parade ring and the parade ring. That brick building right beside the entry is the special Horseman's Lounge for owners and trainers, which is directly next to the parade ring for easy access.
340, number 10, yes, sir, Marco Chiara. Is there any further changes? Obviously, we will let you know.
And as soon as you enter, there is a pathway between the Clubhouse and the Grandstand, so you can head straight out to the track first. Let's get ourselves started at the pre-parade ring. The pre-parade ring is a large area with stalls set up across the back. You can stand on either side of the pathway to get a view of the horses, but the section where you can swap back and forth between the sides is by that entrance that you came in, so choose wisely. The horses will start off down here, take a couple laps before heading down the pathway to the main parade ring.
X-ray, I didn't check the hearts and all.
I think it is. Until you decide to go on the edge to try it, then I've got nothing to do.
I really like how the pathway runs through the entire back section of the facility, putting the horses front and center for the fans as they enter. It reminds me of how the horses arrive in the paddock at Saratoga by walking through the picnic areas. The parade ring is nice and spacious, and there is plenty of viewing space around the outside, as well as tiered steps to help you see over others on a busy day.
And Racing TV, who are both generously sponsored. Visual going here in Kempton is standard to slope. So standard to slope is the...
There's also a statue in the parade ring itself honoring Couto Star, a legend at the jumps who won Kempton's King George VI chase 5 times. There's also a statue outside the parade ring honoring 4-time King George winner Desert Orchid, who is buried here as well. There's also some cool artwork around on the building to see, as well as a couple of informative signs for new fans. But back to the parade ring itself, the horses will make their way down here and parade before the fans, giving them a chance to see them up close before they head out to the track. Once the jockeys mount their horses, they'll head back up the walkway for which they entered, go past the pre-parade ring, and follow it out to the track. If you head up that pathway between the clubhouse and the grandstand, you can see where the horses make their way onto the racetrack to begin their warm-ups. I also have to give Kempton props for using saddle towel colors. And not only were they colored, they were correctly colored the same way we do here in the States. That was pretty nice to see as an American racing fan. Let's hope one day these colors can be uniform across the world. The clubhouse is the brick building filled with private boxes and bars. The jockey's locker room is also on the back side of this building, and you'll see them walk to and from the horses' walkway each race. The grandstand itself is much larger than the clubhouse, but definitely has a funky look to it the way the lights come off the roof. The lower portion of the grandstand is standing room only on the steps where the general admission would be. But they do have a ramp leading up into this section in case you need it to get an elevated view.
By day, if you can just get enough through, the leader though jumps on strongly for an time. This Kempton fell there down here, right there, man, the car goes just on Michael, trying to pick up a road, really trying out in front of all the others, 2.5 lengths clear still, Brunel Sharp puts that fucking down as well, and he is just about second place on the outside of El Hebrew with Prince of Bel-Air. Dominant display by Brunel Sharp.
Above the steps are a stadium seating option, but if I remember correctly, I believe this was reserved for owners or guests of the above dining room behind the glass. And there's also a couple private sections, like the Premier Suite in the middle, and the brick section on the side of the building labeled the Royal Box. Kempton has 2 clockwise courses. The one closest to the crowd is a grass track used for national hunt or steeplechase, while the inner track is polytrack. The track is open year-round, and they'll hold plenty of race days on both surfaces, even running quite a few of their race days under the lights. The apron is wide open with a few places to sit and plenty of betting opportunities with the bookmakers.
Lead over the field. Stella Hogan's being produced now and starting to stay on with the end of the track. Villa Lobos still the one to catch. Stella Hogan is trying to cut him down, but the gap is still too late. 50 metres left to go. All the way for Villa Lobos. Villa Lobos being Stella Hogan. Then here at the track, and the reverberation.
If you're all the way up on the fence, you have a great view of most of the track, but it will be hard to see the horses on the poly track as they get toward the final turn.
Up front though, Al Mosher, head right up in the sky, very keen, jumped well, but will probably be great for getting a lead into the bend. Sawgrass is ahead of Al Mosher, but not now until now coming across. Breathless Bishop with them as well, and so too, Yes Sir. They turn away from us with Nahi and also Fireblade up the inside, Amazonian to the outer, so that cluster of fancied runners just off the pace, racing in 5th, 6th and 7th place. Behind them, Dalton Park as they stretch on down the far side. Paradise Circus comes next. Kivano Breeze is caught up a little bit from the rear of the field. Courageous Gold and the Colleen sit towards the back, and Ruby Kendall is the overall back marker as now Sawgrass goes on. So Sawgrass down the far side, Breathless Bishop the one pushing in for the lead now. In 3rd place, Almosh, who just dropped his head slightly after carrying very high in the very early stages of the race. Yes Sir, and Marco Gianni with the noseband on the outside of those. Up the inner is Nahi, and Nahi followed by both Amazonian and Fireblade, who are not far off the leaders now. They turn out of the back. In touch with these, Dalton Park is just keeping a very close eye on the market leaders ahead of him. They're followed by Paradise Circus, Kivano Breeze, pushing along now is Courageous Gold, the Colleen second last. Last of all is Ruby Kendall as they make their way into the home straight. Just 3 furlongs now left to go. So Sawgrass as Breathless Bishop comes under pressure. Switching out wider, Al Mosher is going to get a clear run of them by the looks of things. Nahi, Amazonian pushed along, trying to track Al Mosher into the closing stages. And now Amazonian tries a pretty bright turn of foot. Fireblade's over on the far side, but Amazonian now has come through to join Al Mosher with Nahi behind her. Amazonian and Al Mosher follow them by Nahi and Sunny on Fireblade. Good scrap this. Amazonian this side of Al Mosher. Neither giving it in here. Amazonian just as strong. Right finish, but Amazonian and Al Mosher were clear of Fireblade and Nahi and then Dalton Park.
Once the race is over, the horses will exit through the entrance they used to get on the track. The 5th through last place finishers will unsaddle at the pre-parade ring, while the top 4 finishers will head back down the walkway to the parade ring where the winner's enclosure is right by the entrance. It does take quite a bit of time for the horses to make their way all the way down this path, so if you leave the grandstand once the race is over, you'll definitely make it back in time to see them enter the winner's enclosure well before the horses get there. If you're on the apron and want to go inside the building, you'll head on down the stairs. Or from the parade ring, you can just head straight inside. The indoor layout is very simple, with plenty of places to sit between races while you place your bets and eat. There's also another grandstand-looking structure called the Festival Enclosure. This wasn't open when I was there, but I imagine it helps to add extra seating on their biggest days. This is also the end of the track where the previously mentioned south entrance would be, leading directly to the parade ring. But that does end our tour around Kempton Park. What did you think of the track? I liked it a lot, and I really loved the layout and how front and center the horses are. This was definitely toward the top of the list of my 5 tracks that I attended while I was in England. Have you been there before or plan to go in the future? Who knows, maybe one day we'll finally get a horse in the Kentucky Derby from the prep race held here. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you at the races.
It is not making much impression on them, trying to stay on. The leader is Shadow, the danger is Pure Angel, the Super Burning in the third place. Shadow and Pure Angel, breaking back to the line between them. Shadow and Pure Angel. They will come to the clear, Super Burning, Maya Wale, and just a spot last in the fight.